Hello.
All right, we're going to call this commission meeting on June 19th to order here in Box Elder County. It's 11:30. Just for information, Commissioner Summers will be attending this meeting online. He'll be on the phone here with us. And we're going to start off with an invocation given by Commissioner Bingham, followed which we'll have Pledge of Allegiance led by our Community Development Director, Scott Lyons.
Our Heavenly Father, as we come before Thee on this beautiful summer day, we're grateful unto Thee for the blessings of life we enjoy, for the freedoms we enjoy, and the opportunity to live our lives with our family and to strive to improve and do good things with our time. We're thankful for the opportunity to be involved in our local government and pray that we can listen to issues and that we can resolve issues and that we can find a way to work together, that we might live together in peace and happiness. We pray for Thy Spirit to direct us and help us as we move through the agenda today, that we can accomplish the things to the best of our ability and to Thy mind and will. And we ask for these blessings, thanking Thee for all we have. In the name of Jesus Christ, amen.
Amen.
Please stand and join me in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we have received the minutes. We didn't approve the minutes from May 15th in our last meetings, but we have the minutes from May 15th and May 29th. So have we reviewed the minutes, and do we need to take a motion on that?
So moved.
Okay, so we have a motion to approve the minutes from May 15th and May 29th from Commissioner Summers,
Second?
and a second from Commissioner Bingham. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, motion passes. Those minutes are approved. Okay, just quickly on the administrative review, just want to throw out that we are holding this meeting today. It is Juneteenth officially in the country, in the United States. For those who don't know, Juneteenth is actually, the Emancipation Proclamation came out, and it took a number of years because we didn't have all the fancy media that we have today in our society, and it took almost 2 years for the government to get the word out about the Emancipation Proclamation. So it was approximately June 19th, that 2 years after the Emancipation Proclamation came out, that the final area of our country in Texas, it was Galveston, Texas, was made aware. There was 250,000 slaves there that were made aware of the fact the Emancipation Proclamation had come into effect, and that is why we celebrate Juneteenth, is in recognition of the fact that slavery was abolished in our country. And even though we remember that it's a time that slavery did occur, but we recognize the fact that they made the right choice and did away with slavery on that day, officially, countrywide, that was the last area that had to be made informed. And that's why Juneteenth is celebrated here in Utah as well as throughout the country. The actual celebration day for our employees was on Monday, is the day that they observed it, but it is that day today, and we want to recognize that. So, any former agenda items that we need to bring up or talk about? And then we have ARPA, LATCF, but we'll be dealing with that with an issue here under the auditor's office, unless there's anything else. Was there anything else under that? Okay. And then, so that'll take us to our employee recognition here. Just going to pull up the. All right. Let's see. All right, so our employee of the month, and then we'll follow up after that. We'll go to our quarters item, but our employee of the month this month was recommended by Diana. She put in, and I confirmed this with a lot of different people, but the initial recommendation came in and it said that they wanted to nominate Faylene Brown for the employee of the month. Diana mentioned the fact that she calls her at least once or twice a week with problems, and she's always so pleasant to work with. She's helpful, friendly, and always figures out what the answer is. I will tell you that Faylene also goes way above and beyond with not just her department, with other departments in the county. She reaches out and has served on the employee committee and done all kinds of things to make sure the employees feel welcomed here. And when the public walks in, I tease Faylene because they have a sign on their door down there that says, please come in. And so whenever I come in, that's the first face you see in the recorder's office. So with that, we'd like to invite Faylene to come up, and we recognize her as our June Employee of the Month. We'll just somehow make a picture. We'll get Stan in here from somewhere out there. But anyway, right over there. We'll Photoshop him in. Thank you. Congratulations. And the surprise was because of who you work for.
Yeah.
I told him he could tell you that we were doing this, but he said, we'll just have her come up and for this other item too. So anyway, congratulations.
I know, yeah, he tricked me.
So, thank you for all you do for our county.
Thank you. Congrats, Paige. Oh, I love our county.
You do an awesome job. You are truly one of those people that is the face of Box Elder County. We do appreciate all you do. So we're really excited about having you as our Employee of the Month. So anyway, with that, we're going to have Chad come up and deal with item 14, or Faye. I don't know who's going to deal with this, but Faye thought maybe she was going to have to deal with it, but we'll let Chad come deal with this. So we're dealing with the recorder's, this is a monument replacement restoration grant, contract 2422.
Chad Montgomery, Box Elder County Recorder. This is a contract that we have to replace and revitalize some section corners. We had a company contact us and said we'd like to apply for this grant in your behalf, and so we have someone already lined up to do the work. The state is offering us $28,230 to do this. This is just a yearly thing that they do. And so in order to receive these funds, we just need to go under a contract, and there's a specific set of deliverables, circumstances, things. This is the same that we've got in the past. We haven't done it for a couple of years, so it's nice to be able to get some of that money and get the section corners that tie to all the properties in the county kind of locked down and restored.
Okay.
So
Any
you
dis-
have some in particular that you're concerned with, or?
We do, yep. We like to keep the ones, we focus on the ones in the populated areas. So Brigham, Tree Mountain, a lot of them we put in the roads because historically those were railroad spikes. But if they go and they mill those up or change them, those are easy to get lost. And so we replace them with ring and cover so that if they're doing road work, that's part of their thing, is just to do it just like they would any other manhole or anything like that. They just take care of it. So.
Great. Any other discussion? If not, I'd entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve monument replacement and restoration grant contract number 24-22.
Second.
Have a motion from Commissioner Bingham, a second from Commissioner Summers to approve monument replacement restoration grant contract 2422. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, motion passes. We'll take care of it. We'll get it signed.
Thank you.
Okay, let's go on to item number 7, emergency management issues. Mark.
Mark Millett, Box Elder County Emergency Manager. First issue here, just our annual signature for the State Division of Emergency Management of our succession of authority. Nothing new on there unless you want to change that, but it just delineates in the event of something bad happening, if we lose members of our leadership, what is that succession of authority. So we just need your signature on that, and I can get that submitted to the state to meet that requirement.
Okay.
The other one that I've got and sent to everybody electronically as well, we are currently operating under 2003 version of Ordinance 267, which was the Emergency Management Ordinance. I have went through that and kind of updated that, which was badly needed. But it is open for discussion, and I expect, and talking with Steve a little bit ago, he's got some questions he wants to work through and so forth. I don't know if an ordinance is necessary, if there's some of this stuff should be handled through, county policy or however is best seen fit. But I just took what's old and outdated and created mud against the wall as what a new one could potentially look like. But it's open for discussion. I know I need to still follow up with the auditor's office to get any clarification of verbiage from what the old stuff was in there as well. But I just want to put that in front of you, begin that discussion. We'll let Shirlene and Steve kind of weigh in on this here. I've run this past the sheriff. He's given me a thumbs up from his perspective, but it's just kind of a global discussion that I'd like to see how y'all want to move forward and resolve.
Okay. Do we need to do anything on that ordinance then? Okay.
Yeah. Well, and like I said, my question was, is you know, this being all put into ordinance versus just county policy, I just don't understand the inner workings. But anyway, that's your call as to what's going to best work for the county.
Okay. Yeah, if you put the mic over so Stan can hear you, so. Okay, so it's in state statute, so we may or may not need to do this.
Yeah, it may not be necessary because some of the stuff in there is already covered by state statute. But
Okay.
we'll take a look
And
at
there may be some state stuff there, but then beyond that is kind of some stuff how we operate. And this is more strategic than even the emergency operations plan. You know, kind of delineating some things. But
Okay.
we'll just start the discussion with this. Okay.
All right. Do we need to do anything like to make a motion on the updating authority, or do we just sign that?
You probably should make a motion.
So we probably ought to do that so we need a motion to sign the letter for the emergency interim successor that goes back to the state.
Okay, I'll make.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion from Commissioner Summers, second from Commissioner Bingham to sign the letter of updating succession of authority that goes back to the state. All in favor, say aye.
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 Okay, motion passes. We'll take care of that.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
And you probably could do a motion to table the
Oh,
ordinance.
yeah, then we do a motion to table the other item, the policy, or the current ordinance.
Okay, I'll make a motion to table the update ordinance number 267. Second.
So we have a motion to table from Commissioner Bingham with a second from Commissioner Summers to table ordinance 267. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, motion passes. It'll be tabled. All right, let's go on to Assessor's Office. Rod.
Rodney Bennett, Box Elder County Assessor. This is to renew our contract with Pictometry or Eagle View. They do our aerial flights for us every other year. We've been able to negotiate actually a pretty good deal. We're getting more area covered at 3-inch instead of the 12-inch on it. So we have more square miles put in it. It's about the same price when you put in the amount that they cost for hosting, because they host it as well. That was an extra cost. So we're actually getting more area covered at better coverage for about the same amount that we have in the past. We use this every day. It's available to anybody in the county that wants to have it. We'll give access to it, but we use it. It gives us different views of all the properties within the county. And again, it's a 2-year flight cycle, and this is a contract for 6 years.
And how do they do it? Was it airplane or
It's
helicopter?
airplanes.
Okay.
They have specific equipment. It's interesting when you get into it how they do it, because they take it from multi-angles, so you can actually look and see the fronts or the backs of what they are. Gives us a really good indication. For the first year, they actually do a change finder as well, so they will actually outline things that we haven't seen on our stuff before. So that way we can go in and look at certain places where something has been added that wasn't there before.
So is this for the inhabited part of the county or the whole county?
We don't have the funds to do the whole county. Initially, it was the 3-inch was in mostly Brigham City, Elwood, Tremont, and Perry and Willard. Now we're able to get most of the Bear River Valley in the 3-inch. The other was 12-inch, so when you got into the outskirts, Honeyville's, Bear River City, Corinne, Thatcher, they were 12-inch. Now they will be 3-inch as well.
Will they be doing Northrop Grumman as well?
No,
That will not be included in
we
there.
don't have part of that as our flight
Okay.
area. That may be something to look at.
Yeah.
but that's not what we have written into.
I mean, they had some growth and they've had some cutbacks, so I'm just curious to know if we're kind of monitoring that with that same system, so.
We have not used it with the flight. So.
Okay. And I'm looking at the contract, it looks like about just under 40,000 a year, is that right?
Correct.
Okay. Okay. Any discussion from the commissioners? Not an entertainment.
Not just coming out of collecting and assessing tax, right, Rob?
Yes, it'll come out of my budget, but that's assessing and collecting, so that's correct.
Yeah, that's what I just didn't know if everybody knew that that was a separate tax.
Yes.
Right.
One thing
Not anywhere
too.
except for that.
One thing that I would add is anybody that wants it, we can add on and have them access it. It's a great. I've tried to push it in the past. Anyone can have it. It gives us a better view of what we have of all of the area. We haven't had a lot of interest because it was in Brigham City, which we don't have any oversight. Tremont, which we don't have any. Hopefully we'll have a little bit more, and it can be a little bit more helpful to some of the other
But if
offices
those
as well.
communities wanted to access it, we could give them access to it?
Brigham City typically buys, they pay us to get access to
Okay.
it as well, so.
Okay.
But yes, any city can do that.
Yeah, okay, good to know. All right, having no further discussion, take any action on the Eagle View contract 2423.
I'll make a motion that we approve Eagle View contract number 24-23.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion from Commissioner Bingham, a second from Commissioner Summers to approve Eagle View contract 2423. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, motion passes. We'll take care of it. Thank you. Figure out which way to sign on that one. Okay. Now, item number 9, deobligate funds from restroom project and then change. So we'll start.
Copy or you guys?
Yeah, if you got a hard copy, it'll be better for us to have the numbers there.
It's kind of small.
I looked at it earlier on my computer. That way I don't have to switch the
Yep.
screen off here.
Charlene Larson, County Auditor. So I've got a total of all of our obligated projects. We had a change in the fairgrounds plan for the restrooms. And so I've calculated in yellow on this areas where you could deobligate monies where projects are either complete or have been changed. So down at the bottom, it's a possible to deobligate $357,847.31. I think I need my glasses on too, but and I believe that the two others, like the recorder's office, has indicated their project is complete, and the fire services study also indicated that theirs is complete. And where
Okay.
we need to obligate these by the end of the year, then I thought I'd give that number to you in total.
Okay. So we may have to decide how to address those other two, but specifically for the fairgrounds, we could do a motion for that today.
Right.
Okay. You want to
Yep.
place a
I
motion?
will make a motion to deobligate funds from restoration project change and reobligate $118,755 for asphalt project at fairgrounds.
And just so you know, that's because we had 4 bids done that came back, and that was the low bid for that particular project. And then the remainder of those funds, what would we do with that? We want to do a separate motion for that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do it a separate one?
Okay, so we have a motion to deobligate the remaining $335,466.75 from the restroom project and reobligate $118,755 for an asphalt project for the vendor area at the fairgrounds. A motion from Commissioner Bingham. I'll second it. So we have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Nay.
Okay, 1 nay. So motion passes.
Okay.
So-
For the remaining balance of,
Which I don't have my
What would that be? Hang
I
on
don't
one
know what that
second.
would be, actually.
Let's make sure we got it right. Okay. 335, 466 minus 118. 755.
216, 691, 75.
216, what is it?
691 and 75 cents.
Okay.
If I did my calculator right.
I
Did
came
you
up with a
guys check
different
me?
number.
75 or 79?
I had 75, but
I'm showing 711. I got 216, 711. So it's 335, 466 is the total amount, right? That we just got.
446. 335, according to the paper, is
446.
446.75
75
minus the
118,
118,755.
755. Yeah, 216. Yep, 691. Okay, yep.
Okay. I'll make a motion that we reallocate or reobligate $216,600. Yep, $691.75 for maintenance, safety, and fair improvements.
Okay, we have a motion to reallocate $216,691.75 of ARPA funds to the fairgrounds for maintenance. What was it?
Safety and fair improvements.
Safety and fair improvements. I'll make a second on that. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed?
Nay.
Okay, one name. Motion passes. Okay. I think if you wanted, did you want to come up just real quickly and just tell us, Jan, what other possible projects besides, since we've already approved for the asphalt paving, that'll be for the vendor area, is that correct, Jan?
Right.
Okay, and that was, we got 4 bids, and that was the low bid with 118, correct?
Right.
What other things do we think will probably
So
end up?
we've identified a few safety issues or that will improvements with the Farm Bureau's, not the Farm Bureau stand, the Lions stand. We can make a few improvements in there for their safety and some of their concerns. And then I've identified a few others up at the fairgrounds.
Great. Okay. If you'll just keep us informed as to what we're using, and Shirley will be asking you to give her an update as to how we're spending that and taking care of it. So.
Right.
But that's where it's obligated to. So thank you.
Thanks, Jen.
All right, let's go on. Let's see. All right, item number 10. Give that proclamation. All right, for those who don't know, Box Elder County, along with Cache and Rich County, belong and became part of what they call Bear River Association of Governments, or BRAG. And as such, it was developed, BRAG started about 51 years ago, and one of the employees that came to work at BRAG 51 years ago is the current executive director, who is in the process of retiring and stepping down. He's got some medical issues and some health issues, and so officially he'll be probably done. He may do some contract work, but he'll be done at the end of June here. On June 24th, they're going to hold a retirement celebration for him over in Logan. And as such, from Box Elder County, because he served in that position and served the citizens of Box Elder County and the Bear River area for 51 years, we felt like it was appropriate as a commission to honor Roger Jones. So I'm just going to read the proclamation aloud that we would like to make a motion to sign and have this proclamation prepared to present to him on June 24th. But this is just whereas Roger Jones, Director of Bear River Association of Governments, has been an integral and important part of growth and development of the Tri-County area, including Box Elder County. Whereas Roger Jones, along with BRAG's objectives, is to serve as a multi-purpose organization, utilizing the combined total resources and to provide a more effective means for planning and development of the physical, economic, and human resources of the region. And whereas Roger Jones, with these objectives, has contributed extensively to the development of the past, present, and future within Box Elder County and the Tri-County areas. And whereas it is fitting that Box Elder County recognize the accomplishments of Roger Jones for 51 years, now therefore be it proclaimed that Box Elder County Commissioners recognize Roger Jones and extend appreciation for his many years of dedicated service to our community. Be it further proclaimed that the citizens of Box Elder County acknowledge and value the commitment and work of Roger Jones to increase the quality of life within Box Elder County communities. Passed and adopted would be upon the motion here this 19th day of June 2024. So with that, I'd open it up for a motion.
I'll make a motion that we give this proclamation honoring Roger Jones, Director of BRAG. Make that motion, we do that.
Okay, so we have a motion. Have a second. So a motion from Commissioner Bingham, a second from Commissioner Summers to approve the proclamation honoring Roger Jones. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, motion passes. We will get that proclamation signed and prepared to take and present to him on the 24th. Okay, next item on the agenda is a ratification for approval for consensus funding. Bear River Mental Health and Bear River Health Department were presented with the opportunity to bring down some funding from the state, which would require us as a county to help contribute toward that. It's a very small amount. For our county, it was just a little over $9,000, and I think cash was like $20,000, and Rich was even less, like $1,000, and it would bring down almost $170,000 for the Bear River area. That was actually had to be done in the first part of June and was unable to be on the agenda. So at this point, we'd take a motion to ratify the approval for the consensus funding for Bear River Health Department and Bear River Mental Health.
I'll make a
So
motion.
moved.
Okay, we have a motion from Commissioner Summers,
Second.
a second from Commissioner Bingham. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Okay, motion passes. All right. Next, under community development, Scott, we'll start with the resolution 2406.
All right, Scott Lyons, Box Elder County Community Development. So these first two resolutions are associated with state code requiring the county put together a moderate income housing plan, and each year we're required to submit a moderate income housing report to the Department of Workforce Services based on this legislation. So for the plan, what they required of us was they provide a menu of strategies to encourage moderate income housing within our jurisdiction. The county was required to select, I think, 3 of those strategies and then implement something working towards those. So these two resolutions, 24-06 and 24-07, are 2 of those strategies. The third strategy that we have is to encourage accessory dwelling units throughout the county. And what we do for those is quarterly social media postings that kind of have some address accessory dwelling units in some way. So and going back to these, as far as these two, it is essentially resolving to not charge impact fees related to 24-06 is moderate income housing, and resolution 24-07 is to resolve to not charge impact fees related to accessory dwelling units. And these resolutions we would need to continue passing on an annual basis to re-resolve to do such a thing until we are required to come up with new strategies. So.
Okay.
So what's moderate income housing? I mean, what's moderate income?
What is the definition of that? I'm sure there is a definition.
Yeah. It's just not a narrative? I'm just wondering.
Yeah, I don't know it off the
It's
top
what
of
the
my head.
state. It's what the state says it is, depending on the moderate income level of the state. It changes year to year. If you look it up underneath that bill, you'll be able to see what it is, what it changes to.
Okay. So it's a state set level? Okay.
So this is for unincorporated Box Elder County.
Correct.
Right. Okay. Any discussion on resolution 2406 not to change impact fees on moderate income housing? If not, I'd entertain a motion.
I'll make a
So
motion.
moved.
Okay. But I might want to, you said change, but it's charge. So I will second that.
Not to charge, yeah. Okay. So we have a motion to not to charge, resolution 2406 from Commissioner Summers, not to charge impact fees on moderate income housing, and a second by Commissioner Bingham. All in favor, say aye.
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 Okay, motion passes. Resolution 2407, no impact fees on accessory dwellings, dwelling unit.
I'll make a motion.
Okay, we have a motion from Commissioner Bingham to approve resolution 2407.
Second.
I have a second from Commissioner Summers. All in favor, say aye.
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 Okay, motion passes. You want to do Resolution 2408? You wanna-
Yeah, so Resolution 2408, I'll actually have, so this is the fee schedule update that
Okay.
our department is doing. And this kind of was spurred on with the budget updates that we did last year, when Shirlene requested that each department review their budget and look for any ways that they could trim them. So it came to our attention that our department's fee schedule hadn't been updated for 15 plus years. So we wanted to take a look at that and see what changes may be necessary there. So we put out an RFP. We contracted with a firm called Planning Outpost. They are here and to do a short presentation on what took place as part of that fee study. And then the resolution that you have addresses those recommendations based on that study. So they'll hop up here, and then if you have any questions, feel free to ask those.
Okay, come on up. And if you'll introduce yourself, and then
Thank you. My name is Fred Turnier with Planning Outpost. We also have Valerie Clausen with me with Planning Outpost. And so today we're doing, this is the agenda. We're looking at a project background, highlights, just summaries of the findings, the current and proposed fee levels, and then opening up for questions and discussions. I'm not quite sure how you want to operate the meeting, but feel free to ask questions along the way.
okay.
Okay, oh, next. Go ahead. So just a quick project background, just adding on what Scott brought up. But before I go through the project background, just want to say that your staff has been really, really good to work with. And that includes the auditor's office, community development, and business license. And the clerk's office, they've helped out a lot. And I do appreciate this. So just some of the background. When we did start, we did have a conversation with staff and found out that the fees, it's been a while since the fees have been updated, 15 plus years, so they're a little stale out there. And as we went through the process and we came on site and met with community development staff. At that time, it became, because community development also does reviews for new business licenses, that it became apparent that maybe we should be looking at business license. So in March, we expanded that scope of work to include business license. And so through June of 2024, we've been working with your staff again. They've been very responsive to this to come up with the final report findings and recommendations. Next. So these are just some of the highlights of the findings. That again, it's 15 years. It's time for your fees to be updated, but also that we recommend every few years, 3 to 5 years, take a look at your fees. Specifically for community development, they have a revenue budget for FY24 about $25,000, and that nowhere comes to covering the actual cost of reviewing some of these these applications. And just a little bit more on that, I just wanted to emphasize that some people ask about difference between, say, taxes, doesn't our tax dollars pay for this? And also just fees for services. And there is a distinction. Taxes that people pay, think of the sheriff's office and the deputies, doing countywide services. Fees are, I'm coming in with a subdivision application, and that's specific for me, and I'm gonna pay a fee for that specific service. So that's the difference. In Scott's group in community development and business license, they fall in that service category. We've calculated the hourly rate, $74.28 an hour. We rounded that up to 75 just to smooth out. We're about streamlining as much as we can, so that was smoothed up to 75. Engineering for community development, currently you have a third-party engineering firm that doing a really good job for the county. It's just that how they're being covered with their cost is through essentially general fund revenue, because the fees that come in community development do not cover those fees. So recognition of that. Civic Review, which is a platform that business license, building, and community development are currently, their end users are currently using, is really an efficient way to provide services to county residents. Currently, you're not capturing anything to cover those expenses. In other jurisdictions, there have been technology fees associated with that, and technology is looked at more of a capital expense. And so that can be smoothed out and charged. Our recommendation is that we calculated the amount of applications that the county is currently going through the portal. It came out to $6.25 per transaction. We also have another recommendation is that take the next 12 months and just do an assessment period to firm up that's either $6.25 or it should be some number up to $6.25 per transaction to cover the technology cost that should be considered a capital cost. We also looked at services that staff is providing that there are no fees that are being charged currently. And actually, there are quite a bit of activity that is occurring without a fee. So we're proposing 6 new fee service charges, 5 in community development and 1 in business license. And again, currently those aren't being charged, so the people paying it's the county.
Right.
Countywide's paying for that. Land use management and development code update. So over the past 3 years, text amendments have been the second highest volume of applications. And typically when you have a lot of text amendments, it's kind of a red flag for practitioners that maybe my code is out of date. Maybe I need to take a holistic view of it instead of, one bit here, another there. And again, code updates could be simple as changing a couple of words to doing a full analysis of what's best practices around the country. So that's a recognition that you got quite a few of them, and likely that's indication that the code needs to be updated. So when we're looking at the business license and community development, we based our eye on streamlining the process, including eliminating complex formulas. Some of the fees should be more basic math and calculus. And so we always recommend let's keep it simple for everyone involved. We're also looking at services not being charged, and that is a valid charge that can be had. Also looking at the past third-party services to the users. So essentially, if I am using engineering services that's third-party in the county, that cost should be passed on to that end user. Also impacts to changing legislation. An example of that would be SB 174, and that now you're under a shot clock. And Scott's group seems to be able to meet those timeframes, but there's also additional fees, like if there's an appeal in that SB 174 process, the county pays for half, the applicant pays for half. That's not identified in your code, so we went ahead and put that in there. New technology use, again, Civic Review, seems like it's a great application that the county's using. So identifying whether that's being used, and also best practices. So in the community development department, we are looking at some additional new fees, and those include the new agricultural subdivision application, administrative interpretation application, change in building use, subdivision appeal, which is that 174, and engineering review. And for the business license, we added one service fee for new business licenses. It's a community development review. Again, community development is looking at lion's share of new applications that are coming in for compliance. Business license, we also looked at combining some of the fees out there that are a little confusing, like contractor and construction licenses. So that helps streamline the process. And also getting rid of some of the more complex formulas that are out there. For example, business license has one, it's $1 per employee who works at least 1,200 hours per year, but not to exceed $200 for the entire fee. There's a lot of compliance type items in there and enforcement, and it's a lot of work for a fee that's not a lot. So we've recommended some simplicity of those fees. And also just level of effort. There's one business license that is for services for partial year. It's kind of a proration if 6 months or less, but it's the same amount of effort it takes to do something that's 6 months or for a year. There may be an application out there, a business license that goes out of business. This is the only one that kind of recognized kind of a proration for it. So from simplicity standpoint, we're looking, a recommendation is to eliminate that fee. And I'll just, can you go back? And I'll just pause right there to see if there's any questions or discussion.
Okay. You have anything, Commissioner Bingham?
So you actually have fees that you're recommending to staff?
Correct. Yes, we do have fees that we recommended in the report that we gave them. So it's both for community development and business license.
Okay. So there was one about agricultural, what? I didn't understand that
There's
one.
an agricultural subdivision, and Scott, I don't know if you wanted to talk a little bit.
I don't know what an agricultural subdivision is, I guess.
So an agricultural subdivision, it's a separate section of our subdivision code that allows someone to subdivide agricultural property. So if you have a field and you're going to split it to either sell half of it to a farmer, adjacent farmer, or another farmer, they don't have to go through the full subdivision process where they're proving septic and water and all
I
of
see.
that. It's a more streamlined process than the building subdivision process.
Okay,
So
makes sense. Okay.
And currently, it's the fifth highest volume of activity that community development is currently doing, and there's no charge for it.
Okay. Anything, Commissioner Summers, you have any questions or?
I was just going to say that, well, Scott brought this to us about 4 or 5 years ago when we changed that to be able to make sure that we could process the ag subdivisions quicker because it was having to go through a full process. So kudos to Scott for always being able to do things necessary. So we actually had to run a bill to be able to do this. But yeah, Scott's always on top of things. So him and his department have been doing great things.
Okay.
I should say, as far as the resolution that you have, it has the proposed fee schedule laid out in that resolution. Some of the fees stayed pretty similar. Some of the fees increased 2 to 4 times what they were previously from 15 years ago. But the biggest one, in my mind, and kind of another one of the causes for this update was our engineering fees, the contract engineer. Those fees used to be, for probably my first 8 years here, were $10,000 or less annually. And over the last 4 years, they've climbed up to $60,000. And that's kind of one of the areas that blew up our department budget. And so now being able to pass those third-party contracting fees directly on to the developer, it's no longer being subsidized by the taxpayer.
Yeah.
So that's one of to me, the biggest benefits to this fee study and the new fee schedule proposal is it'll pass those third-party engineering costs directly onto the developer. And you have some developers that actually are pretty streamlined and require very little engineering review, and you have others that can drag the process out for several years and really rack up the engineering bills. Right now, unfortunately, those are just all being subsidized instead of being paid directly by that person. So
Sounds like a great plan.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay, anything else, presentation-wise?
That's it, just open
Okay,
questions.
all right.
So I will make a motion to pass resolution number 24-08, Community Development Fee Schedule.
Second.
So we have a motion from Commissioner Bingham, a second from Commissioner Summer to pass Resolution 2408, Community Development Fee Schedule. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion passes. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, let's go on to Weed Department. Wyatt, Grant Agreement 2424, NAP Weed Mitigation.
Wyatt Freeze, Boxler County Weed Department. So yeah, I've just got these two grant agreements, starting with the knapweed mitigation between us and UDAF. So we have all four types of knapweed in our county, but luckily most of these populations are limited. So to keep it this way, we pursue this funding through the Invasive Species Mitigation Fund with UDAF. We were awarded $16,300 to aid in this. So yeah, that's the first grant agreement. Is there any questions?
Okay, any discussion or questions on Grant Agreement 2424 for knapweed mitigation? Not, I entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion that we approve grant agreement number 24-24 for knapweed mitigation.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion from Commissioner Bingham, a second from Commissioner Summer to approve grant agreement 2424 knapweed mitigation. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Was that an aye, Commissioner Summers?
Aye. Sorry. Well,
Okay, just want to verify. All right, let's go to grant.
I'm headed up the canyon. You might lose me.
Okay, grant agreement 2425.
Yes, so this one is through the same fund pool, the Invasive Species Mitigation Fund. This is a grant that we've pursued since 2012. The department has, and you know the state has highlighted on our success within this project. So this is just to approve the grant agreement for these funds again this year. We were awarded $70,500. Helps pay for multiple management methods and produce the amount of success that we've had on a landscape scale. So.
Okay, any discussion on grant agreement 2425 for rush skeleton mitigation? If not, I'd entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion. We
So
approve.
moved.
Second.
Okay, a motion from Commissioner Summers, a second from Commissioner Bingham to approve grant agreement 2425 for rush skeleton weed mitigation. All in favor, say aye.
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 Okay, motion passes. Okay, thanks. All right, we'll go to the road department. Water purchase agreement 2426. I'll go through these in a minute when we get done then, so I'll take care of those. Yep. Okay,
Hi there, Darren
Go ahead.
McFarland, Box Elder County Road Department. A couple of water purchase agreements we've tried to enter into with folks out west. This one in particular helps us on the Yost side of the county. We don't have water for construction, and so we pay a fee to these guys when we use the water. There's two
Okay.
different fee structures. This one is a gravity fee, no pump, so it's a little less cost than the others with pumps. That's the only difference.
okay.
Any questions?
So where is this? Where?
This is between Yost and Knapp's store. It's actually in Idaho. He's where his farm is located.
Cool.
Right next to the NAF Road.
Okay.
We've been doing this one for how long? As long as I've been around.
Yeah. Most of these water contracts are repeating because they're the only people that have the water for us to use.
Right.
Yeah, this will be another 5-year contract, so.
I'll make a motion that we approve water purchase agreement number 24-26 with Wayne Holland.
Okay, have a motion for Commissioner Bingham, a second for Commissioner Summers to approve water purchase agreement 2426 with Wayne Holland. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, motion passes. You want to talk about the other one at all, or same
Yeah,
thing?
Where's the other one?
This is a little different. This one's in Grouse Creek. He is, again, our only water source for construction. He is also a county employee. He has a pump, so he gets paid differently, as do others that have pumps, to help offset the maintenance of the pump, cost for electricity to run it.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we approve water purchase agreement number 24-27 with Bill Kimber.
Second.
You have a motion from Commissioner Bingham, a second for Commissioner Summers to approve water purchase agreement 2427 with Bill Kimber. All in favor, say aye.
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 Okay, motion passes.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank
Thanks.
you. Okay, let's see, let's go to our human resource public hearing. You want to come up, Charlene? Do we need to make a motion to go into a public hearing for this one, right? Or do we just go into
I'll
public
probably
hearing?
explain it.
You could
later.
just call it.
You're gonna, what? You'll explain
Maybe
it?
explain it a little bit before you go
Okay,
into the public
yep,
hearing.
so go ahead, Charlene, explain what we're doing here.
So,
Your motion is to close the public hearing.
So we just need a motion to close it? So we're in a public hearing and, okay, go ahead, Charlene, then.
executive county officers require a public hearing whenever there's a change to their salaries according to a new state statute, 171614, as of May 1st this year. And the positions impacted by this change are the chief deputy auditor and the chief deputy attorney. And the reason for the temporary salary enhancement is to allow the county to fund a temporary salary adjustment to URS Tier 2 public employees on the hybrid retirement plan. So the increases are as follows. Chief Deputy Auditor is $345.60, and the Chief Deputy Attorney is $624. By state statute, we're not allowed to do the contribution for the employees. However, the county would like to provide this temporary salary enhancement to those above individuals as additional compensation to assist with the payment of the employee paid portion of their URS retirement for the remainder of 2024. And that's what the public hearing should focus on.
Okay, and that's what we're talking about is, it deals with the same thing we dealt with in the previous meeting. For all employees in the county, we have to do a separate one here for those two executive county officers who are in the Tier 2 system, that are unique and different from the other employees to take care of that. So, for that subject alone, any public comment? Anything, Steve, we need to, you had anything? Nothing?
Don't think so.
Okay, seeing no one for public comment, we'll bring it back to close the public hearing.
I'll make a motion, we close the public hearing.
Second.
I have a motion to close the public hearing on the salary increase for executive officers from Commissioner Bingham, second from Commissioner Summers. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay. So,
Our item C for all eligible public employees, the salary enhancement, I'm going to turn that over to Diane with the HR.
okay, Diane?
Is that separate from this, to do the increase for the?
We probably need to make a motion at this point to take care of
Okay.
it, and then we can go to that. Is that all right?
Right?
So let's make a motion to accept the salary increase for the executive county officers.
So moved.
Okay, I have a motion. Do we have a second? I'll second it for discussion. So we make a motion to approve the salary increase that's been discussed for executive county officers, the two that we've discussed. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? I think we've lost Commissioner Summers, so that passes. Okay, so now we can go on to the temporary salary enhancement for eligible public employees. Go ahead, Diane.
Okay, so,
Just say your name.
sorry, Diane Black with
Okay.
HR. By statute, state statute, we are not allowed to pay the URS contribution for the employees. However, the county would like to provide this temporary salary enhancement to the above individuals, the Tier 2, as additional compensation to assist with the payment of the employee paid URS required contribution for the remainder of 2024. This will be a budget-neutral change due to the decrease in the Tier 1 pension rates paid by Box Elder County. On behalf of the employees who this applies to will individually be approved using a personal action at the next commission meeting.
Okay. Any discussion? Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve the temporary salary enhancement for eligible public employees.
Okay, I'll make a second. So all in favor for to approve the motion for temporary salary enhancement for eligible public employees, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Okay. Takes us to our public comment section here. So, looks like we have, for public comment, again, to make clear, those wishing to make public comment shall sign the comment roll, which we have two, it looks like. They'll be eligible for following the rules that are outlined. They have 1 3-minute opportunity to speak regardless of the number of items they wish to address. They need to address the comments to the county commission only, and it's a time to be heard. There will be no back and forth dialogue with the commissioners, and the speakers may file copies of their remarks or supporting information with the county clerk's office. So with that, we'll start with Deanna Hardy.
Okay, Deanna Hardy Brigham. The Box Elder Committee of Liberty opposes mass mail-in voting. Deceased citizens are receiving mail-in ballots. I presented my own deceased stepfather's mail-in ballot in 2015, and the county took a photo of his funeral program and mail-in ballot, but no further attention to this problem took place. I am sure this problem is happening all over the state and country since voting by mail is implemented. I present another deceased citizen's funeral program who passed away in February of this year, who received a mail-in ballot for the 2024 election. Another citizen sent this email to declare that her mother-in-law passed away in August of 2023, and she received a mail-in ballot for the 2024 primary election. I have requested that I not be mailed a mail-in ballot, but continue to receive a mail-in ballot every election. I have not, to this day, participated in voting by mail because I know it is a violation of my right to a secret ballot as outlined in our Utah Constitution, Article 4, Section 8, which states all elections shall be by secret ballot. Voting by mail is not a secret ballot, and our representatives are violating our Utah law. Mass mail-in voting is wasting the taxpayers' money by mailing all these ballots to deceased citizens and citizens who do not want to vote by mail. The Box Elder County Community of Liberty petitions this county and state to stop mass mail-in voting, to stop wasting the taxpayers' money by mailing mail ballots to deceased citizens and to those citizens that do not want to vote by mail. We petition the county and state to restore voting in person, to restore the local voting precincts, voter ID, paper ballots, and local citizen in each precinct to watch over and help count the ballots at each election and comply with our Utah law, Article 4, Section 8. Voting by mail should be upon request with a legitimate reason, such as serving in the military, missionary, health issue, or out of area when voting is taking place. Citizens should be required to fill out a waiver acknowledging that they are waiving their Utah constitutional right to a secret ballot. In our Utah Code 20A-3-502, it addresses intimidation and undue influence when voting. The county and state cannot address this problem when the citizens are voting in their homes away from secure voting locations within the citizens' precinct. The Box Elder Committee of Liberty petitions this county and state to stop the intimidation and undue influence when voting by allowing and enabling voting to take place in the homes of citizens away from a secure voting location within each citizen's precinct. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Next, looks like we have Fred Hayes.
Fred Hayes, Bear River Precinct. I write about elections in Utah from Box Elder on an online platform called Substack. Looks like I missed my first page. In presiding over the work of the elections group, it's presided over by the county commission and assisted by the county clerk, keeping in mind that the legislative body, the county commissioners, are the board of election, and you run the canvass. You solicit from the office of the clerk, the professional administrator of the elections, any needful election information and administrative services. Buy-off of the accuracy of the result is to be attested to by the members of the Board of Canvass, which is you, the legislative body. You, the body, are to ensure that the clerk delivers a certificate that attests to the accuracy of the election result, that it is verified for correctness in the clerk's name. Box Elder County has, for all election certificates on file, violated the spirit and the letter of the accuracy statement. The same is likely true for the other counties as far as I can tell. Many of us, the people, will not tolerate more blatant violations of the section requiring this attestation. We will not give you, the acting commissioners, a pass on this issue. You must insist that the certificate is worded such that it attests to the accuracy of the election result, meaning that it is verified for correctness. Anything less than a statement that it is accurate, meaning verified for correctness, is a willful indemnification of yourselves through intentionally negligent oversight. With the properly worded intended wording, you truly will be in an unenviable position because you cannot base your claim on the affirmations of witnessed hand counts from the precincts. You are boxed in. You will be signing to a statement that you cannot prove, and should you attempt to look into the cast vote records, you would most assuredly be blocked by the Lieutenant Governor Deidre Henderson. The only valiant way out for you is to notify the Lieutenant Governor before the election month is over that you intend to do the proper thing and look into any and all of the precinct counts. That would give her advance notice so that she can signal to call off their machinations such that any fraud would not be discovered upon examination of precinct counts. If you, the Board of Elections, do propose to look into precinct counts, however, you will no doubt be counseled by the Lieutenant Governor to look at ballot images because they are electronically handy instead of the original ballots, which can't be electronically altered. It would be tempting to go along with their advice, review the ballot images, and say that you've done your duty, but you would be hoodwinked by doing so. So what can you do as a county
3 minutes is
commissioner?
up, Fred.
Okay, I'll submit this to.
Thank you. Okay. Let's see, was there anything closed session we need to deal with? Okay, so we need to have one closed session. So we'll take a motion to go into closed session.
I'll make a motion that we go into closed session.
Okay, I'll second it. All in favor, or all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we'll be in closed session.
I wanted you to see this up close, so you have a witness. He died in January.